So I put up $614,000 against the market. I've been holding that for years. So now I'm going to watch this TV footage from February of 2000.
Now let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines this week on news.com online. The Friday sell-off happened again this week after 4 days of record gains on the NASDAQ. Both it and the Dow plunged, sending many stocks to new 52-week lows. Despite the drop, tech investors remain optimistic that a coming rise in interest rates won't slow profit growth at technology companies. And Microsoft dominated tech headlines this week. The company finally unveiled Windows 2000, its high-end operating system for businesses. Although Microsoft chair Bill Gates passed the CEO reins to Steve Ballmer a month ago, Gates introduced the new operating system. He called it the company's most ambitious project and said its capabilities signal how the future of digital business will take shape.
Instead of just looking at gross revenue, we'll actually have people who look at the profitability that can be driven out of the internet.
Tuesday, President Clinton met with industry leaders and pledged the government's help in preventing similar attacks in the future.
We know that we have to keep cyberspace open and free. We have to make, at the same time, computer networks more secure and resilient. And we have to do more to protect privacy and civil liberties. And we're here to work together.
Keeping up with Intel just got tougher. The chipmaker demonstrated its fastest microprocessor yet at the company's annual developers forum in Palm Springs this week. With Chairman Andy Grove looking on, one of its upcoming Willamette processors reached a speed of 1.5 gigahertz. That's almost 50% faster than the high-end processor it plans to release later this year. And love was in the air for online retailers this Valentine's Day. According to a report from bizrate.com, sales skyrocketed to $462 million from just $103 million last year.
Coming up on CNETnews.com, the IPO forecast,
including an update on one of last week's big flops.
So this is the peak. This is February 2000. The market peaked March or August of 2000. NASDAQ crashed 78%. They all seem pretty optimistic.
The corporate thing just didn't work for me. I mean, that's just the politics, but the whole backstabbing, water cooler chit-chat and all that, well, garbage. So one day I'm online and I find Beyond.com. Before you know it, I got a home office and I'm living life on my own terms. With Beyond.com, I can stay at home and order all the software I need for my business, and it can be downloaded or delivered to my door. I'm as free as I want to be. Oh, hi.
This company is probably gone.
I think it's
Never
a
heard
good
of
arrangement.
You no longer control your company. Your customers have taken over, and they know what they want.
So I think this is just
the
regular commercials.
So they can work with you, even
from
for
that
you.
time.
If you don't pay attention to them, they'll find someone who does. So, how do you like your new boss?
PeopleSoft, applications for e-business.
Never heard of it.
Giant selection of Voyagers, up to $4,000 below MSRP.
As low as $149 a month.
Every Grand Cherokee up to $5,000 off.
As low as $199 a month.
Fully equipped Neons, $99.95.
Just
$80 a month for a lease.
$1 down.
And make no payments till June.
Our annual...
This is a picture of the Grand Canyon. 4 signs.
So many companies that are gone now.
This is the Grand Canyon on the internet. 4 signs, flat. This is an iPix image. With iPix images, you get to see everything like you're actually there. On the internet, this changes the way we see the world. Or buy a car, plan a vacation, sell a home.
Dang, that's kind of crazy. They had that back then.
iPix, driving e-commerce with better visual.
First off, a lot of people still want to go into a physical bank. How are you going to convince them to go online?
We're not going to try and convince them to go online. We're looking for people who are online already and are interested in doing all their financial services under one roof. And that's our target market, is somebody who already is technology literate.
So how are you hoping to create a kind of personal experience online?
What we've done is every time a new customer joins our bank, we actually assign a client manager to that person who's backed by a team of 3 personal bankers. That client manager is solely responsible for that customer satisfaction. When you join the bank, you end up getting an email with a picture of that private banker and that you can put right on your desktop with all their connections, as well as their email address, phone numbers, and anytime you want to reach them, there's always somebody at our bank who knows your name.
It's easy to say things with the benefit of hindsight, like obviously that is going to fail. But If you were back in 2000 and you're listening to this, are you investing in it? There are so many companies that had IPOs and so many of them failed. It's so easy to just say, oh, I would have just picked Amazon. There were so many companies that were being pushed. So many of them failed. And I think it's similar to today. How many of today's companies are going to fail? In what we're watching here, this was peak. This was 2000. NASDAQ crashed 78%.
Just ahead in the next half hour on CNETnews.com. Stock Talk. Analysts recommend 4 stocks and tell you why they think you should buy. We'll hear what David Corsi's worked up about.
Do you know when it's time to take your profit? Do you know when to cut your losses? Do you want to know? There is a way. TradeStation 2000i can show you. All you need is a system, your own system that tells you when to buy and when to sell.
2 factors: variety and training routine.
New from Fitness Made Simple comes from home workouts. In fact, Fitness Made Simple.
Flowers.com. This company is transitioning its strong, tremendous consumer brand awareness onto a successful e-commerce platform, which now generates in excess of 25% of its total sales. Furthermore, through acquisitions and product extensions, the company now faces over a $120 billion market, including floral, home decor, gardening, gift products, and gourmet food.
Why do you like them?
I think this extension of their product line, as well as moving more to the internet, will definitely expand margins and bring them to profitability sometime in the year 2002.
How did they do over the recent Valentine's Day?
Very well, actually. They were the strongest site. Traffic was up over 71% in the week before Valentine's Day. That's due to basically because they've been around for a while, and on a Monday, Valentine's Day is difficult to implement for many of these new startup e-commerce platforms, and they've done it very well.
Good. Okay, turning to Mike. You're very bullish on Xilinx?
That's exactly right, Wendy. And as you mentioned, Derek and I do look at different things. Whereas he looks at the company behind the stock, I try and evaluate the stock in the marketplace, and Xilinx has a great chart. It's a chart that technicians just absolutely love. It's been in a nice consolidation range between 40 and 48 for about 2 or 3 months. Actually broke up through that resistance area around 48 in early
I don't
February.
do technicals.
That's when we first listed it on our website as a tech take area to offering. Since, in a more short-term point of view, the stock has been building a nice little flag digestion.
A little flag pattern
recently,
in the
on Tuesday when we went
stock
to begin,
price, and it wiggles around.
That flag consolidation pattern. It looks like
that's not investing.
It looks like there has been a real increase in bullishness in the stock, and as if investors are really ready to bid the stock up.
Okay, back to the research side.
This is at the peak.
Second pick is Aspion. This company is moving from a traditional point-of-sale hardware supplier into an emerging ASP company, which is capable of providing really mission-critical solutions to the middle market. These are companies such as retailers and restaurants, which have between $50 and $500 million in sales, which really cannot retain competent in-house IT staffs to manage their networks and their software and hardware needs.
These guys aren't
this sort of reinvention
crazy
because
at the
of
time.
ASP trend
This is
will
normal.
Be successful.
They're pushing these stocks.
Middle market.
My last pick would be Hewlett-Packard, and again, that's another stock, not to sound like a broken record, but really had a meaningful change in the supply and demand relationship in the marketplace. Earlier in February, the stock broke above the 118 to 120 level. That told me that buyers were really starting to take control of the marketplace. Again, it formed a nice little flag pattern right ahead of earnings, which often happens. The stock will have a nice run, digest those gains, and just as you were about to get a catalyst, the stock started heading higher again. So we like Hewlett-Packard here as well. You know, we just like to look at the charts and how they're acting in the marketplace, and these are definitely 2 charts that are acting very favorably. It looks like investors are very excited about the stocks.
Some good picks there. Thanks very much, both
What
of you,
kind
for being here.
of
Mike
strategy
Hurley
is
and
that?
Eric Wall.
It's been going up, so
And Richard,
I'm going to
you
buy
and
it.
David Corsi have any hot tips?
The cost of losing a typical employee is $50,000. But losing an idea, an unknown possibility, well, that, my friend, is losing the war.
PeopleSoft, applications for e-business.
Delta 3, a complete package of high-quality, low-cost internet voice communication.
Look, the internet is obviously huge even today.
Unified messaging and
NASDAQ still crashed 78%, and a lot of these companies are gone. It seems so obvious now with the benefit of hindsight. But at the time,
digital cameras, laptops,
for most people, it wasn't easy to see.
I used to get so frustrated.
So many of
when I bought
these.
stuff online.
Never heard of.
Where is their phone number?
A tidal wave of young technology companies washing over Wall Street, the word startup has become nearly synonymous with success. The reality is that starting up a company takes a lot of resources and a lot of time, something most entrepreneurs don't have in huge supply. Startups.com might be the answer. Launching March 1st, it's a new web service that aims to streamline everything, facilities to finance, human resources to IT.
With the Intel Pentium 3 processor, now available for as low as $49.56 a month.
2,700.
To order, go to SonyDirect.com or
26 years ago.
877-490-SONY.
Nice.
Vio.
As a CEO and co-founder of eMusic.com, Gene Hoffman aims to be the king of digital music sales and play a pivotal role in the evolution of music distribution.
Now, Har, you mentioned that eMusic is in the red. When do they hope to turn a profit?
Well, he says they hope to be in the black by 2002. In the piece, you saw that the company posted net losses of more than $8 million in its second quarter. But Hoffman points out in that same report, eMusic revenues increased by more than 135% over the previous quarter, and sales of downloadable music overall have gone up almost 400%. So Hoffman's confident that this is a big potential profit out there.
To be honest, that sounds pretty optimistic. If you're watching that in the year 2000, 400% growth, 150% growth, it can be pretty enticing. Where's that company today? Gone. Most of those companies were gone. The NASDAQ crashed 78%. The internet is still alive and well today, but we still had a huge crash. So let's look at the Shiller PE ratio. This was the peak of the dot-com bubble. I think it was actually exaggerated because a lot of those companies literally had no revenue. Some of them had no revenue. A lot had no profit. Today, this high multiple of 39, almost 40, is on top of highly profitable businesses. So there's so much more room to go down. During the dot-com bubble, you can go from 0 to 100 really quick. Today, it's broadly overpriced and it's on top of actual profit. People will say that and they'll say the dot-com bubble was overpriced because of that. I'm saying today is even more overpriced because of it. It's a high multiple on top of real profit. So there's less room for that profit to skyrocket and catch up to this super high price. The Shiller PE is just looking at the S&P 500. The Buffett indicator is a more broad view, and it's all-time highs. This was 2000. It's clearly higher than it was in 2000. This isn't just price. This is basically the whole entire stock market caps all added up, divided by the US GDP. And it's at or near all-time highs, so it is broadly overpriced. We don't need some crazy recession for prices to come back to normal. There's a long way to go down. The NASDAQ went down 78% because prices were too high. It's that simple. Today, prices are too high. So this is the yield curve. It gives you a better idea of timing. So this was the dot-com bubble, the yield curve inverted. And something very important is that it usually uninverts after it inverts. And then you have the recession. We'll zoom in here. When it goes below this black line, this yield curve is inverted. That is historically one of the strongest recession predictors. And then it uninverts. And then this gray bar here shows recessions. 2008. It inverted for a while, uninverted, and then the recession. What about today? We had a clear, long inversion. It uninverted. The recession should be here. It just hasn't happened yet. It's taken its sweet time, but it's not broken. We didn't miss it. It's all going according to plan. Inverted, uninverted recession. Inverted, uninverted recession.